Good morning, everyone. My name is Marta O'Connor, and I'm Head of Support Services in Fighting Blindness. And I'm joined today by Laura, who will be our artist, leading and on the workshops on our Dance for All project this year. Just to give everyone a little bit of a background, we did run this project successfully already a few times. It's a very popular project. People are always very excited when we are running a new edition of it. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. What the purpose of today is just to give you a little bit of a background and understanding of what the workshops will be about, to give Laura a chance to speak about her work and also about her ideas for this project and for the upcoming classes. And also, in the end, we definitely would like to welcome some questions. If you do have any questions, if you are new to the project, I know some of you have already joined us in the past, but if you are new and you're curious about something, or you did join before and have some thoughts on how what else could we do, and definitely please feel free to let us know. So what we will do at the beginning, it's we will first. I will hand it over to Laura. I'm going to mute everyone. I hope that's okay. And then if you are looking to, in the end, when we'll be asking questions, I can unmute everyone and that will give everyone a space to ask questions. So I'm going to start muting everyone. And I will pass it on to Laura for a little presentation. We do have a PowerPoint presentation. I think for Laura, it can be helpful to have it in the background. But it's not very important to see it or to be able to read it and to fully understand it, because Laura will be verbally speaking over it anyway, so she will be telling you all about what's on the presentation if you're not able to access it. So I will hand it over now to Laura and mute myself as well. Thank you.
Brilliant. So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here this morning for our introductory session. So, the purpose is to give you an idea of what this project is about and also where it's coming from and where we would like to take it. So, as was already expressed, we're going to be open to your ideas, your feedback, and your suggestions. And I'm going to use some slides just to help me organize my thoughts and guide me through some important topics to maybe share. And I'll skip over things that I don't think are that relevant as we go and adjust based on our time. So don't worry about needing to engage with the screen in any way. Of course, I am going to be speaking through everything. And as with everything I do, everything is always verbally guided. And again, I'm just so grateful to be here and delighted to share with you all. So let's get stuck in. So for me, the Running Blind project has been going now almost over 10 years. And this project began from my own interests as a dancer, but also my interest in our connection with our body and how we express each other's and how to each other through touch in particular, and how we connect with our environment around us. There are very different forms of styles, and my background was classical to begin, and then I went into contemporary dance and then into physical theater. So I discovered, wow, I can use my voice. And then later I just discovered through physical theater and contact improvisation that, wow, I can use my body in a way to touch and connect with other dancers. So that's just not in partnering, but all of that physical engagement I found was really resourceful to my body. And it didn't just have the artistic benefits, but it also had this quality that was really supporting my nervous system and helping me feel just really present and connected with others. And I was just realizing that these have greater benefits to everyday life for us. So at one point, I was recognizing that so much of modern life is plugged in and we're not engaging with our foot as we walk down the street, the people that are passing us or sitting next to us on the bus. And yeah, there's this kind of feeling of people being screened off as such. And I really had this desire to bring people together in this way of community that we would really open to our environment and our physical sensation and experiences in a way that was inclusive and accessible, and that it dropped these barriers that we have between each other, whether that is a phone screen or whether that is our visual perception or judgment of others. And so, in this trajectory of my research and my thinking, I realized that vision was such a key priority in how we interact with our space and engage with other people. So, I really wanted to get a very sincere perspective of what it was like to work without vision. So, I began to connect with people with vision loss in Dublin to begin. And I was really fortunate that I met people who were very open to conversing with me and even bringing me in a walking tour of my own city from their perspective. And so when this happened and I had this opportunity to learn from their experience of everyday life, it really just opened up myself in so many ways, and it expanded my ways of seeing, in inverted commas, and just opened up so much beautiful new possibilities that I felt that this would not just be of benefit to me as a sighted person, but that it could really help make dance accessible to people with vision loss. So I started exploring this in collaboration with the Anne Sullivan Centre for people who are deaf-blind. And through this practice and weekly engagement I had with the group, I was seeing the physical, cognitive, social, and relational benefits people were having. So, for example, people who might have been a bit shy and passive sometimes in their response to a key worker, I saw how their relationship changed and they became more confident and became the leader, let's say, in the relationship between in partnering exercises. So it was quite an informative time, but I also was seeing quite literally the physical and emotional benefits that people were having through their bodies, and the feedback of the support team that worked with these residents in the Anne Sullivan Centre. But just feeling and seeing the smiles, the joy when we were moving, and just when each week when we came together, there was just a sense of community that was being fostered. So through this research, I then wanted to really engage with the feedback of other people with vision loss. And so I started research with groups in Tala in the Rural Red Art Centre there. And through this exchange over a year, I started developing more practices that were bringing in different kinds of levels of creative engagement, and also getting the really valuable feedback of everybody that was participating. So we journeyed through lots of different creative tasks to bring together what I call now this program of Dance for All, which is guiding us through a lot of different skills and practices that can support us in everyday life, but also make dance accessible, fun, and enjoyable. So one of the key practices that obviously is so important for someone with vision loss is making it fully accessible, not through the voice and through description of movement, but also through that non-verbal space and this practice of touch, this connection that we have, that we can communicate without needing to say something, but we can embody it. So not just through our own physical body, but in relationship to others. So one of the areas that we really developed through this series of workshops is this concept of informed touch. So this is something to begin that might feel a bit foreign to people, but it's this idea of how we communicate, how we come into contact with somebody through our presence, through all the ways that we can give directional touch that supports us in everyday life, in ways that we can communicate and share what a space is like physically. So this is called haptic mapping. So for example, we would draw on the back of the body the shape of the room and put in where the doors are or where there are objects that we need to move around. And in this way, we were using really practical tools and then taking them into a creative response. So once we had the basics of understanding how we can inform ourselves through touch of the space we're in, then we had more freedom creatively, and also we could support each other through our movement and through our contact, and yeah, find new freedoms. And that was always the biggest feedback from people, finding freedom to move in a space and to feel confident in that space was probably the most important thing. So this idea of contact, not just with our own self, being fully present to ourself, that we feel our feet, we feel our weight, that we're fully responsible for our body, but then also that relationship with another person, with the wider group, but also with our environment. So that can be the floor that we're dancing on, the floor that we're rolling on, the chair that we're sitting on, or the wall that we're leaning against. So over the years, a lot of different research has informed the development of these practices. So working also with accessibility advocates and with mixed ability groups through integrated workshops has been really essential. And then over the years, inviting in all age groups as well. So it might be parents with children with sight loss, for example. So a lot of different people have inputted and been part of this project directly and indirectly. So our workshop during these weeks, just to give you an idea of some of the content that we would like to explore, and again, open to your feedback on these things. So beginning with this grounding sensory awareness so that everybody feels really safe in their space, that they get to know the environment of the room that we're working in, and that they build a level of confidence within their own body and their own balance so that they can move freely. Then developing this dance of description practice, which is how we bring audio description to life. So that we use our voice through these practices. It's not just movement in its purity, but we need to bring our language into it so that our dance can be more informative to others, so that when I'm moving, I can describe how I'm moving, so that someone listening to my dance, listening to my physical movement, can also listen into the words that I'm using, the tone of my voice, and how that is giving a new understanding of this dance and making it inclusive and accessible. And then the other aspect that I've mentioned already is this idea of touch and how this contact, be it with our environment, with others, can bring more of our dance to life, can open us into this beautiful social exchange that happens in dance. And this is probably one of the greatest things about dance and what gives people so much joy and freedom and expression. So using also haptic communication skills that are largely coming from the deafblind community to help us get a more informed idea of how we can communicate non-verbally and how we can use our touch to support us to feel safe and confident in our dancing space. We'll be doing a lot of partner work with a lead and a follow, so there'll be a lot of listening practices in order to really sensitize into these relationships again, so that they're non-verbal, that we don't have to chat, that we can move together very fluidly. And then there'll be loads of opportunity for your creative expression. That is so important. So the main focus of this is that the movement and the dance for all practices allow you to express yourself and give you that freedom and that artistry. So while there will be tasks that might describe things very particularly, I'm also not setting steps and choreography in such a way that that is all that you're doing. So the idea is really that you are empowered to move as you want to move. And really, for most people, that is where the greatest benefit also comes. So just to mention that now, it's not a Zumba class, it's not an aerobics class. There will be, of course, guided movement practices, but really the focus is on your freedom, your movement expression, and then finding and collaborating together to see what we want to create as a group. I would love to also introduce some somatic movement concepts that are brilliant for connecting our brain and our body. And through these practices, it'll be bringing us more into the present moment, connecting us deeper with our whole self. So our legs, our feet, our hands, opening up through the back of the body, and doing all of these practices that basically connect us. And this is not limited to people with vision loss, this disconnection that happens in the body. It's for anyone that is using technology, or naturally through our aging process, we become less agile. We become a little disconnected between different parts of our body and brain. And so, with the movement practices I share, specifically this somatic way of connecting with our body, this is supporting our cognitive health, our memory, our recall, and neurological ease in the body. So, you can kind of see that it's the artistic practices, but also it's really grounded in well-being practices as well, everything that I hope to share. So again, I'm just going to summarize that. So in the workshops, we'll be focusing on grounding, sensory awareness, communication through touch, using our voice to aid description, haptic nonverbal communication, partner work, creative expression, contact improvisation, group work, which is always super fun, and then the somatic aspect that has this great well-being benefit. So yeah, we will not just be moving our body, but we will be moving our voice and using sound to express our space, our feeling, our movement, and perhaps even our performance. So one of the key things that we want to work towards, if we feel this happens as a group, is to bring in this performative aspect and work towards, in the second phase of our time together, the last weeks, bringing together something that we could share as a group with the larger community. So that is something that we would like to develop through the weeks, and by really building our confidence and resources as a group, we can really create something that is engaging and immersive and interesting for people to come and experience. So over these weeks, we will be training our skills and perhaps working towards that aspiration if the group feels confident in that way. So I just want to mention some feedback that has been shared over the years, just to give you a sense of some of the benefits. So we are all equal here. I learned concrete tools for communicating in a new way. It has broadened my horizons. This has allowed me to express myself and be more self-confident. It has expanded my comfort zone and challenged my assumptions. It broke down psychological barriers. So there has been so many different groups and intergenerational groups over the years that have really shared their feedback and helped me customize the work that is slowly evolving. And a few more quotes from recent years. I thought dance was impossible. These workshops have made the impossible possible. Now I understand that listening is not just with your ears, but with your whole body. I can feel the world through my feet. So this is really what we're aiming towards, this freedom, this joy, this curiosity, this shared learning, and also bringing all these social benefits that in a lot of feedback, people have shared that, and this is again for everybody, I think, as we go through life, it's harder to meet people sometimes. That social engagement can be a challenge for everybody. So for a person with vision loss, I have really listened in to their experiences over the years and heard just how much of a challenge that additionally can be. So hoping that this is really feeding that need and for social connection and all of the well-being benefits that that brings. So another great benefit of this practice is the agency and the empowerment that it brings. So this confidence, this esteem, this self-value is just so important. So I'd like to just share then the concept of collaboration, and we're just coming towards the end now. And this idea of us coming together, it's a shared space. So hopefully anybody that's listening to this that has been to the workshops before knows that it's a space where your voice is so welcome, where your suggestions are really, really valued. So in our collaboration, we will be co-creating together. And so when we come to chat at the end, now in a few moments when I finish up this introduction, I would be so curious, and we can open up all of the microphones and allow people to share. Just how would you like to engage with this process? What would make this participation meaningful for you? For a lot of people, it is being able to meet and share their experiences, and then to be able to embody it, to be able to express it, and yeah, feel heard, and feel the benefit through these group sessions. So also considering what structures and what agreements are important for our group. So in the first week in particular, we will be having space for this. So it might be things around spending time in each session, doing, and especially in the initial ones, mapping our space, getting comfortable with our space, making agreements about making sure everybody is heard and gets their suggestions within the group, because yeah, sometimes people are shyer to share. So these are all practical group things, but looking at them in advance so that we can really work towards a really inclusive space, and a space where everybody feels valued. And then also considering in our collaboration what we want to do, what we want to share, what we want to create, and where we want to focus, because everybody has a different interest. So the best way of sharing maybe ideas from past weeks, how do we capture something that we've created, for example? So do we verbally record it as an audio description so that we can come back to it in future weeks if we want to explore something that we've created, like a choreography, for example? Or do we want to teach the whole group something that we have explored, and in that way we're embedding it and we can come back to it later? Or a haptic map that is going to support us come back to an idea, an improvisation that we want to explore in later weeks. So this idea of how we capture things and how we go back over material is something that I think is really interesting for us to discuss and to give space for. And then lastly, how will we document our journey? So we have ideas, of course, to have someone that will take some photos, take some videos along the way, and capture it from that perspective. But what are the other ways that we want to capture what we're creating? Maybe we want to record some audio along with our movement, etc., and make what I call scripts. So yeah, there are so many just interesting ways to engage together. And through this, maybe we will come to create something that we can call a performance, or I call a sharing. So this sharing means that it's something that is inviting people into the space to experience what we've been creating in a casual way, in a way that doesn't put any pressure on us. So this is one of the possible intentions of spending time together. And through our exchange, we will discuss this and decide what is best for our group. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that I didn't speak too fast, but just wanting to share as best I can, and just wanting to allow you to mention anything that is important for you. If there was something, any thoughts that arose as I was discussing or mentioning any topics about engagement, participation, agreements, how we share ideas, how we remember choreography, how we document our journey, all of this. If you have any ideas on this, you're very welcome to share that now. And we're just planting seeds as such, so that when we go into our first workshop and we have these great weeks to develop something together, that already this is in process. There's something percolating, and that may be ideas, thoughts, or questions. So we just want to open up the floor now, and thank you everybody for listening and engaging. So welcoming everybody if they want to share anything. Corey, I see your hand up. Yes, we will unmute you now.
I'm not sure. I can ask you, Porrick, to unmute, but let me see if I can unmute you. I can't unmute. Yeah, you unmute yourself. Perfect.
I'm unmuted. I don't have the video on. I don't use videos. Is that all right?
Yeah, no, you don't
Yeah,
need
it's
video.
That's
You
okay.
don't
It's
need
okay.
video.
Look, very brief. I've done this with Laura twice. I'm from Donegal, and I used to live in Dublin, and I don't get down often to complete the course in its entirety. I may miss 1 or 2 weeks, but in saying that, for anyone who hasn't done this, it's a very, very good uh, dance experience to do. There's more to it than just dance. It just opens your mind to space and awareness, and your body being sort of in flow, I would call. It is very well done. Laura does a good. She's very engaging with people, and she has a great rapport with people. And the facility itself in Hill Street's a lovely hall, lovely facility. It's very central, and I may have to go in a couple of minutes just to let you all know that. But look, if anybody is seriously considering it, I recommend you come forward and try it out. I will be there, Laura. How many weeks is it? The course?
Yeah, we're going all the way up until the end of November, maybe even the first week of December. So there's plenty
What?
of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in and out. Like you probably know, I won't be there
Yes,
every week because I'm up here in Donegal. But I
that's
will.
fine.
It gives me a purpose to come down. So
Yes,
just letting you know that. But as I said, I've been there. You know me from previous, uh, previous lessons. So look, everyone who's thinking about it, please come along. It's a good experience. Thanks.
thanks so much for sharing, Corey.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Porrick.
It's great to get someone's experience there. And perhaps there's people that have never participated before that you can follow up and ask myself or Martha any questions you may have, but also take the opportunity now if you like. Hi, Mary.
Mary would like to say something. Yeah.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to this, Laura. But unfortunately, it is going to be on a Wednesday, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
um,
I have something happening on Wednesdays in September, at least, because I have a friend who's have to go in for surgery and I have to stand in for her. But I would love to come when I can, if that's okay.
mhm.
And if I miss the first few, I'll do my very best to slot in.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, great. And that's really good. Pori kind of mentions it too. Like, can I just jump into the lessons? So of course it's of the greatest benefit to go to everything because you're going to be building each week. But if you find that you maybe can't attend everything, the priority would be that you are definitely there for the October November sessions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
September maybe, we're still in this group norm dynamic and we're laying things down, but really the priority will be those last weeks. We need people to show up. We need a level of commitment so that we can really develop something as a group. So, but still, yeah, I trust that it all works out and it all has a beautiful way. So please, rather than thinking, I don't know if I should go. Yeah, because I'll always find a way of involving you. Even
Okay.
if it's that you don't know the practice that we're doing, I'll be like, well, what if you were to do this? And that would really support our group. So listen, it's going to be so much creative play. It'll be wonderful. So
It sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, exactly. And yeah, just inviting that freedom to just come along.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Laura.
Anybody else? Maybe me or Martha can think of a question. Oh, Vera. Vera, do you have a question?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, lovely. No worries. Martha, was there any questions you got through emails?
Um, yeah, I think you covered the answers. There was
Okay.
definitely a question on like what type of dance it is, and I think you covered that it's not like a Zumba or any specific type of dance, that it's more, kind of a somatic movement, exploration of your space. So you definitely covered that in depth. So we didn't receive any other questions, but if
I'll
any,
have to leave. I apologize.
yeah, no problem, Porik. If anyone has any questions after the meeting or doesn't feel comfortable asking it right now, which we fully understand, you can absolutely pop us an email. You know my email address. It's insideeyed@, fightingblindness.ie. So pop me an email and we will be able to answer your questions that way as well.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, so we'll be starting in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, so it's on Wednesday and it will be taking place every Wednesday from 10:30 till 12 o'clock. There will be a little break in between on the 22nd of October. So we'll have 6 weeks, a 1 week break, and then another 6 weeks. So
5 weeks.
yeah, 5 weeks, and then possibly the kind of that we don't like to call it a performance, but more a kind of a sharing experience if the group is comfortable. So yes, every Wednesday around 10:30 we will be starting. So please join. Please try to arrive a little bit earlier, even 10-15 minutes earlier, to make sure that we can start on time. And we definitely also want to kind of create a sense of community and bring people together, because I hugely value it, and I know it's very important for people. So, in the previous times, this project and other projects, people sometimes would, create friendships and go for tea afterwards. So there's definitely space for that. So it's not only a dance class, here I come and I leave afterwards, but you really connect with other people as well.
Mm. Yeah, that's great to mention, Martha. Yeah, like sometimes people will be there even half an hour earlier and stay half an hour afterwards just to have the chats and a cup of tea. So that space is there. So absolutely use it and feel free to engage with that. And I just want to mention as well, like you might know somebody that has any level of vision loss, and you might think, well, maybe they'd be interested. Really do, if there is somebody else, invite them along, get them to come with you. There is really something for everybody. Or if you're someone that really feels that you don't have the confidence to come along, maybe you have a friend that maybe wants to come with you for the first session, and that's fine. That's really, really fine. I want to encourage that, actually. If you want to bring a friend, or if you have a friend that wants to be there as a bit of support, they are going to participate as well, and everybody is really, really welcome. So I do want to just share that possibility. Vera, you have your hand up. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, I just want to say that that's a wonderful presentation, and it sounds very, very good. I read all the emails about it, but just listening to it now, it's not for me at this time, maybe at a later stage. And it sounds wonderful, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah,
And
in relation to the longevity of it and that, I cannot commit
yeah.
to that sort of time. That's
Okay.
my
Yeah.
first point. And as I'm not ready to go into something like that yet. But
Yeah.
thank you very much, and I'm going to leave the meeting now, if that's okay. And
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I just want to respond really briefly on that. I do want to say again what I shared with Mary. As great as it is for you to be in as many workshops, if you are somebody who knows that they can only show up for 2 events, or they just want to listen, they just want to sit in, they don't want to engage, that is also really, really welcome. So also I want to mention, if anybody has different kinds of abilities, you know, not just vision loss, people have been there who use wheelchairs, people with guide dogs, people with canes, people with key workers, support workers, people who are deafblind. So it really is something in that for everybody. So I do want you to feel like you can even come and just check it out. You don't have to participate, you don't have to engage, you can just listen. So again,
well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I might just drop in.
yeah,
I'm
Perfect.
in the vicinity sometimes,
yeah,
and I do
exactly.
live in Dublin, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
I think that's wonderful, because at the end of the day, it's about bringing us together. And I don't want to say that the dance is secondary, but it kind of is. You know, it's really, the emphasis here is on inclusion. So I call this an inclusive dance project. And more so, and I didn't talk about this in the presentation, but it's a nice way to summarize and close this meeting maybe for now, is integration. So I really believe that the inclusion is one thing, but the integration with everybody coming together, because we all have different needs and abilities. And I think everybody has something to learn from taking part in these dance practices. For myself, as a person with vision, I have just expanded my sensory awareness. I can do things that I wasn't able to do before through the practices and the engagements that I have in these tasks and with this particular community group. So we have something to learn from each other, and people are coming from different countries, they have different languages, they have different needs and abilities. And this idea of integration, coming together and having the shared space is really the priority and the number one focus for me as a facilitator, giving everybody that space to participate. Okay, thank you. I hope
Thank
that
you.
you're so welcome.